didn't realize you were awake. So quiet. I was just reading a little bit of Faust. It's one of my favorite stories. You don't seem like you've read it. Well, it's about a man by the name of Faust, who makes a rather devilish deal with another more mystical character named Mephistopheles. Absolutely love the name. So elegant and refined, don't you think? Either way, I'll set that to the side. I volunteered to sit here until you woke up. You had quite the episode, let's say. Indeed. I'm just going to check your restraints really quick. Well, certainly they are nothing to worry about. Not at all. At least for the time being, it should be over relatively quick, I think. There. I think those look nice and tight. So, the episode. Are you going to eat that, by the way? I wanted to wait till you woke up before I asked. Alright. Forgot you can't answer. Well, I'll explain that too. So, you had a bit of a hallucination, let's say. It seems that you decided to remove yourself from your bedroom and run around the facility as a crazed person. Just absolutely the best smell, isn't it? Wonderful, right? Really just lifts the spirit, I think. Anyway, so you escaped from your room and were running about the building, making a lot of threats and, endangering yourself and others. Very unlike you, I should say. You are typically a very calm, collected individual who, quite frankly, has shown absolutely zero signs for any sort of past mental health problems. But things like that often come about when you're given the wrong medications. You would be quite surprised about some of these side effects that these drugs can have on someone's mental faculties. And yours, definitely did. Just as I thought. I should explain that as well. Yeah, I may have intentionally given you the wrong drugs for you, knowing that it would cause that type of episode and that it would inevitably end with you needing to be restrained in this way, alone and watched in a room by an individual. That's me. And now, I'm sure you're probably thinking, why would someone do that? Well, honestly, I'm not even sure I can tell you. In fact, I don't think even anybody's been able to give me a real conclusion as to why I find, the taking of one's life so thrilling. Perhaps it's because my own upbringing was a bit boring, as they say. I mean, there were in the water. You're not gonna need it. Thanks. But as far as I go, we always had pets for a little while, but they never seemed to really last that long. Probably because of the mutilation on my part. I was just really curious about exactly what they were made up of, and watching someone kind of squirm in that horrific way. You can see the most passion in a person in their last moments, I will say. It's quite thrilling. Anyway, you came along, and though you're not the first, you really truly seem like you're going to be one to remember. Now, when I was a child as well, I remember my mother trying to take me to many facilities, getting the old noodle examined. I just didn't quite fit in with the other children my age. But I did realize that I had quite a proclivity for mimicry and copycat-like behaviors. They seem to really set people at ease. It's interesting just copying someone's own emotions and gestures really makes them settle with you. It's actually a psychological trait. We tend to be more attracted to people who look like us, and find people that enjoy our own interests and ask about ourselves in a very similar way. We tend to be drawn to much more. So I took advantage of that quite early on. Something I'm sure that is supposed to set you up for a natural, comfortable relationship and family units really is something that can be quite dangerous and deadly if you're not paying attention to all the signs. But I do honestly absolutely adore being a nurse. No, not for helping people, no. I joined this so I could be closer, watching them pass from one life to maybe the next. I never been a real religious person. What about yourself? I bet that you grew up in a religious home, am I right? You just have that particular look about you. I don't mean anything by it, certainly not. But can you follow this for me, if you can? I mean, you might be wondering why exactly you're doing this, especially when I'm going to kill you, but, honestly, I just want to make sure that your body is going to react the way that I want it to. Anyway, so, religion. I read a very interesting book one time called In the Realms of the Unseen. Quite interesting. It is about a scientist who ends up writing a dissertation on someone else's work about the afterlife and the effects, after this other person passes. Apparently, they came back to this scientist in phantom form, in, dreams or hallucinations, maybe even in form in front of them, that I find quite interesting, and told them all about how they were wrong and that there is an afterlife. And these are all the things that we are mistaken about, and here's what happens. It is honestly quite interesting to read. Obviously, another one you're not going to have the opportunity to read. Sorry. But it is very interesting. I'm sure you'll find out soon enough. I myself am a little unsure, although I will say that strange things do happen close to someone's death, chosen or not. Oftentimes you see ghostly-like apparitions, or people hear audio hallucinations, trumpets, choirs singing, screams from hellfires. It's all very exciting, I must say. All right. Now, if you can look there for me. Okay. You know what? I think you are doing excellent. You are reacting exactly how I'd like you to. I'm just gonna look at your tongue here. I really want to make sure that all parts of your physical being aren't really showing signs that I tampered with you or your drugs. It doesn't make for the best career in the future. I'll say that. Learned that lesson the hard way. But luckily, it does seem that, they just move you from place to place to place when too many bodies rack up around one particular person. I've quite frankly been doing this job much longer than I should, according to my body count, along with the count of deaths on everyone else's watches. But, hospitals like to keep up a stellar reputation, and hearing that many of your patients pass away in a nurse's care is just simply out of the question. So it gives me a bit more freedom, along with some compensation every now and again, and very good reviews. I will say that. Obviously, they can't send me away without alerting the next hospital of how wonderful my work ethic is and how my bedside manner wish you did eat a little bit more today. That's the only upsetting thing. I'm used to people being a little bit more drowsy. You see, I've been giving you some of these tablets. Crushed down in your food. I mean, they are small, but they are potent. I like to use them to get the effect that they gave you, causing some sort of break in your mental faculties, causing wild hallucinations. But I guess I'll save those for someone else now. So, how would you like to do this? Because, I mean, you're going to get a shot, no matter what. That is most certain. Now, the shot itself won't hurt. However, the stuff contained in it, it will burn quite a bit. Now, just to make sure that you don't shake or move too much, I'm going to distribute this other dose of something that's a bit more of a numbing agent in a way. It renders your body completely immobile while I will be injecting the other dose. Now, people do have a tendency to seize up a lot. There's going to be a wild passion in your eyes. However, I just want to let you know that I'll tell your family that you passed peacefully so they're not too distraught with everything. That you would talk about how much you loved them and, just nice things like that. Whatever people want to hear, I'll figure it out. Okay? So you don't have anything to worry about in that way. You don't happen to be independently wealthy, do you? Honestly, that would be ideal to me. But, did you have a will? No, you know what? It's fine. I didn't really think that through ahead on this one. You just, being a bit younger, I didn't figure you might have one of those just yet. And I will say that judging by your clothing and rifling through your things, I highly doubt that you have a whole lot of money. Well, either way, shall we go ahead and give you these nice shots? Doesn't matter. Okay, here we go. Here's the first. Nice and gentle. Nice and gentle, 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 gentle. There. I know. Okay. Are you ready for number 2? Alright. Now, just wiggle your eyes in a big old circle if you want me to say a prayer for you while this happens. I can't really tell. I don't know what that was. It looked like a star. What are you doing there? I don't know what that means. I said a big circle, like a circle. Okay. I'm just gonna take that as a no, okay? And 3, are done.